Blessings, everyone. It's a Sunday morning here in Edinburgh, and it's also it's mid-morning, about 11 o'clock. A message coming through this morning. Well, first of all, there's lots of energy coming through, and I'm really hearing it loudly this morning. The past 2 days, we've had a great deal of, I feel, life coming through us. When I say life, I mean the source energy is supporting and bringing us into alignment with the new earth and also our soul's desire for clarity and balance. So there's a need to recognize within ourselves that we're surrendering more and more into this deep space of observation that I was talking about in a previous video, where we're observing and really feeling the difference in terms of our perception through our observations, connecting in with source at a deep level. What happens when we're able to really move into this infinite space is we experience life coming towards us on a greater level. So anything that we are experiencing in the moment is this essence of non-separation and being one, and feeling the energies connecting as one source. So, for example, you may be walking into a room and you feel that you are already there, that the room has been prepared for you. It's welcoming you in, and also there's a sense of deep unity there, and connection, connecting with souls that you may never have physically seen before, but there's a deep oneness there. And this process that we're experiencing seems to be about fully realizing, and this self-realization, where everything is already there. We don't have to strive for anything, and we go through a process of releasing any need inside us, and this humanness, being human, where we can feel very needy. We can feel that we're continually projecting and reaching out for life. When this changes, then we have this experience of being fully connected with Source, and everything settles into a space of realization that everything that we need is already there. It's already inside us. And also this sense of yeah, I'm already that. So it can feel a bit strange when you first experience this, if you're going between two different energies. When you're fully aware of this instant. I was speaking earlier about being like a camera inside. It's like this instant camera, this instant awareness, and the reflection of ourselves is instantaneous. So we become extremely free. My own experience of this energy has been that when I get these moments of wow, the wow factor, it may be something really, really simple, and something it feels a very personal and unique experience. So it may be that the sky is changing color, or it could be that there's a leaf falling from a tree and it's creating a pattern on its way down. Or it may be that something is speaking through its essence that is magic, and it can feel like a feeling of surprise inside. It's feeding. It's literally the universe feeding energy from the outside in, and there's a sense of wow, this feeling of spirit and spiritual food from outside, which is organic, and we can feel this presence fully as we step more deeply into life and into this shift in our consciousness. There's also of deep awareness there, deep feeling that is coming through. It's a cellular energy. In the past, it may be an emotion which can bring a sense of the heart opening and tears coming through. What's happening now is this sense of connection that moves through the cellular energy, and there's a feeling in the body of an emotion, and it literally just passes through before you can get caught up in the sensation too deeply. It's this breath of life, the orgasmic experience of living through the cells in the body. And I have always been someone who wanted to share these moments. And very often I find myself either being on my own, or I'm with someone or with a group of people who are not, they're not in that space, I guess. If I try to share it, then there's just this sense of blank. There's nothing. So I've learned not to speak too much about these moments, but rather just to feel them. And this is just an example of how we're relating to life through the new earth energies. So it's a very sacred energy that I'm speaking of. It's this sacred life experience, this infinite source, and a deep love there that comes through. So at the present time, I'm finding that I don't really have a camera at the moment, apart from this camera that I'm using here. My camera, when I moved house, I lost the charger for the camera, and the camera on my mobile, it also just dissolved a few months ago, so I'm not able to take any photos on it. It's interesting, and there's a sense of, as I become more and more connected through the processes we're experiencing, there's a feeling of how everything is in place. So rather than experiencing the disappointment of not being able to find the tools that I would want to capture something, it's saying, but you don't need that. Just enjoy the moment. The actual process of capturing and taking the time, it's almost as if the time is wasted on something that it ultimately will be gone as soon as it arises. I've been trying to capture these moments on camera for a long time, and I do manage to do it at times, but it's never quite the same. Sometimes it feels much more trying to find a word for this. It can be much more material, or more solid, I guess is a word for it. We're capturing a moment. When I take photos, I tend to take them through, it's like a meditation for me. So I'll take them, and they're very, very fast, because I'm really capturing a moment of expression on someone's face, or a moment of movement and energy, which I'm always trying to capture through an image, and being able to really reflect that back. It gets lost in the translation. It's like speaking a language which is lost when it's translated into the English language, particularly languages that are based on prayer. You can't really translate something that is authentic, and it's authenticity that I feel is such a big sharing that is happening in terms of the new earth, and really identifying with our own authenticity and enjoying that experience. So there's a need to really be aware and perceive through this deep space and observation, and be very non-attached to anything, because there is nothing to stay in the flow of the experience. I guess that's how I would describe it. Yeah. So it's very powerful. we've certain, the past 3 days has been uh, extremely, uh, extremely intense in some ways. There's a freeing up process going on as energies are continually releasing. And the observation of the energies, being able to translate, which is what I do. I've been translating energy my whole life. But as a healer, I translate the energy of another person and bring the balance in through my translation and reflect it back to the person, and share the reflection, which brings a sense of wholeness and a deep peace within the individual. So this seems to be changing. There's a need to recognize that the higher self is coming in and moving through the body and sharing this deep processing that we're experiencing in any moment. And it can shift from moment to moment. The depth of the experience can deepen from 1 second to the next. And therefore, the perception of life awakens and deepens. And then we have these moments of being able to see life through different mediums. And I can feel that is what's changing as we become more and more real, and our authenticity is bringing out this presence of who we are from inside. We're expanding. We have a much greater space on the earth in terms of who we truly are. And therefore the expansion increases. The connection with oneness is also heightened. Anyone that comes into our experience of this infinity and this experience of the moment is lifted through the vibration. As we identify more with the higher energies, and the higher self is guiding us. And so it's really a time of letting go of any belief systems that we have in terms of our life experience, any experiences that we've had through our history, our cellular makeup, the family that we were born into. Just really let go of any need to recognize ourselves in someone else, particularly. And I feel this is a big one. It's not something that I'm aware of, because I haven't had this in my life for a long time. So I feel very fortunate that I don't have this. But really seeing someone in its freshness and for the first time, every time. And it may be someone that we recognize. And there's a recognition that comes back where we experience each other in each other as part of this higher source energy. There's a deep awareness. When it comes into the knowing factor, if we're fortunate, then we have an equal sharing of the energy without any attachment to anything. Now, that's really, really beautiful. We can look at one another and gaze at each other with pure love, with no attachment. There's no expectation. When it comes down to our personal relationships and partnerships, to be able to live and look at the person that we share our lives with and that we love through a place of non-attachment means that every second of our gaze and our ability to reflect ourselves back to that person as a mirror becomes one of freedom. The biggest tie that relationships have had, and it will still be happening depending on the person and their origins, is when we have this expectation of each other, where there's a sense of need. These are very old traditional relationships where we came together through need. There was usually a calling or some kind of longing inside us to meet someone. And we would draw towards us the person that reflected that back to us. And the sense of falling in love and being able to really feel this deep connection, it no longer exists in this new dimension that we're living in. There is a deep awareness there of the truth of what love is. That love is unconditional, that it is free. It's something that we all share. And therefore relationships are changing. And for those that are able to maintain these higher dimensional sources of energy and really be together through this sense of awareness that is pure love and this ability to really live within this infinite moment, this breath of life, and be able to really gaze at one another through a deep, deep connection with Source, then we have this amazing, amazing connection which is fully aligned with our freedom. And there's a deeper love there. It's a sense of unity. And also there's a balance there. The relationships that have come through the history of time have been very much dependent on one another, where we really have had a sense of being supported by the other, where there was a sense also of the reality of life. The relationships that we're working through the ancestral energies, where there was probably a connection with an ancestor or a family member, where it literally was manifesting through the relationship. And to be in a relationship and not be fully in the moment and in the relationship as it stands in its truth, to be able to see one another fully and not be looking at someone else, which is what happens, then we have this sense of joy that comes from being able to really share our energies and feel the heart complete. There's a sense of deep, deep wisdom that comes. And the wisdom is the sharing where the experience moves into the language of Source and the essence of love that is shared through being able to be together in silence and also speak through this space of purity and a very poetic language that comes through. It's a complete raising of our vibration together. In reality, we should be able to experience these energies everywhere we go, with everyone we meet. If we have a sharing and an essence and speak from the heart, we are living in a state of prayer. I can really feel that as I say it. It's so, so beautiful. The divinity inside. So we're really sharing through this essence, and we're speaking from a place of unity, where there is a deep love and a deep awareness of the other through connection. It's wonderful. So I'm just going to do a meditation today. Sunday always feels like it feels kind of special to me. It's interesting because I'm back in time again, but the Sunday energies, in terms of what I'm speaking about, would have been an energy where I would feel the clarity early on a Sunday morning. Something passes through between the days when we enter into a Sunday. There seems to be a freshness and a light there, and people are much more relaxed and chilled and really laid back, and it should be like that every single day, of course. But today, I just want to, bring these energies through and share a meditation. So if you would like to connect, we're just really, really tuning in here to each other. And we're tuning in through this space of honoring each other. Respect. And this deep awareness that I speak of. So we're really just taking these energies inside and blessing this physical life experience. Just allowing the joy to bubble up inside and feel this source energy and its freedom. And we're feeling the light of ourselves, this fullness of life. Through the light of our being. And we're just breathing in this beautiful sharing of honor, respect, and love for one another as a human race. Blessing the wisdom of this infinite breath, the breath of life. And we can express our gratitude and fully align with the truth of who we are. A blessing. And we're fully aligning into the new earth. And these beautiful golden rays of light, these crystalline forms, and this beauty. Anything of limitation and expectation is being released. And the source of life, this magic that we have inside, is blessing our physical experience of life into the invisible world of Source. So we can deepen into this source energy, fully aware that all is free. All is taken care of. And that we are blessed with a life of fullness. Our presence and this deep love for life. So we're just allowing this expansion and this field of unity and unity consciousness to expand into this field of awareness. Unifying and tasting life from inside. This essence of soul and the joy of connection. Somebody The blessings to all and one, and have a beautiful day. And I'll speak to you soon. Namaste.